Greetings everyone, we will continue our discussion on programming for problem solving using C. In this previous session we have started about strings and we have learned about the string manipulation functions and how to use them for manipulating the strings. In this session we will be going for some new topics regarding enumerated types, structures and type def. Okay, first we will be looking at the enumerated types. So in C programming, enumerated types are enums is a data type that consists of integral constants. So what is this enumerated types? So if you are having in your particular program a set of strings and you want to manipulate those strings, or if you want to instead of working upon those strings, if you want to work on numbers, then you can be using your enumerated types. For example, if you are having a day in your program, so the day can take the values of your Monday, Tuesday, like this until Sunday. So here you have, whenever you want to have that particular day variable in your program and you want to work on these things, that is you want to work on Monday, Tuesday and so on up till Sunday, but you don't have to work on the particular strings, that is you did not work on the string Monday. Instead of, you can use some value 1 and you can use some value 2, like this you can use some value 7 and you can work on these values and get this get the program to work. Okay, instead of working on the strings you can work on these integers so that it will work in a similar manner while you are working on your strings. So when you are going to implement your enumerations is whenever you want to define integral constant to your strings, in such situations you will be using your enumerated types. So in C programming, your enumerated type is a data type that consists of integral constants. So just like your fundamental data types like int, float, you can create a new data type by using enumeration. Okay, you can create a new simple user defined data type by using enumerations, and those enumerations will have an integer values like this. Okay, so whenever you want to work upon strings but you don't want to use the string names, instead if you want to use the numbers, then you can use your enumerations. So to define enumerations, the enum keyword is used. You are going to use the enum keyword. So whenever you are having such situations where your particular data type will take these values, for example, if you are having a switch, okay, switch is going to take only two values, on and off. Okay, so in this situation, if I want to use some particular string data type, this string data type you have to create a string switch, then you have to give values as on and off. Then you are going to take only two values. Okay, so if you are taking it as an integer, int switch, okay, so then switch can take values from 0 minus based upon your data type, you can take minus 2 power 32 to plus 2 power 32. We don't need so many values to represent your switch. You just need two values. At that time you can represent your on with 1 and off with 0. Okay, so in such situations where you are having the values as strings but you don't want to work on those strings, instead you want to work on your numbers, then you can go for your enumerations. So you can create a enumeration for switch, that is you can create a new data type for switch, and that particular switch can take only two values, 1 and 0, and you can work on those particular values instead of working on a complex integer data type where you will be having large range of values from minus 2 power 32 to plus 2 power 32. Instead you can work upon simple two values. Okay, so in order to define your enumerations, you have to use the keyword enum. So to declare an enumeration, we will be having this. First you have to place the enum keyword. After that you have to place the name of your enumeration, and inside the flower braces you have to define the constants. That is your constant 1, constant 2, constant n, like this. So for example, in the previous examples we have created enumeration for switch. So you create enum switch. Okay, so then I have to place your flower brace. Inside that I have to have one off and on. So these are the two values the switch can take. This will be the this is how you declare your enumeration for the switch variable. In a similar sense, you can create your enumeration for day as well. Day, okay, Monday, Tuesday, so on until Sunday. You can create all the set of values which are present for your day variable in this particular list. Okay, so the day variable, whatever you are creating now, that is the enumeration which you are creating, can take only these values. Okay, can take only these values. Same is the case of switch. Switch can take only these two values. It cannot take any other value more than present here. Okay, so after that, once after declaring your enumeration, by default your constant one, whatever that is present, will get a value 0. Your constant 2 will get a value 1. So on. Your constant n will get n minus 1 value. Okay. So when I declare your enumeration, by default, your compiler will assign a set of values, constant values, based upon the list you have given. So in your enumeration switch, I have given off as the first value. So it will be assigned a value 0 and on as 1. Okay, so your enumeration constant values, that is the integer values which are assigned by default to the list of enumerations, will be from 0 to your whatever number of your list you have given. So in the day you are given Monday is equals to 1, Monday will be given as 0, Tuesday will be given as 1, and Sunday will be given as 6. Okay, based upon the list you give. If you would start the list with Sunday, then Sunday will be given as 0. Okay, so by default, based upon the list you have given, the values, the integral constants will be assigned to your particular list. Then you can change this default values of enumeration elements during declaration if necessary. Okay, so if you declare it like this, by default it will take 0 and 1. If you want change the particular initialization or the default values, you can give the values while declaration itself. That is, if you don't want off value as 0, if you want off value as 1, you can change that value while declaring itself. If you declare them in this manner, the by default it will take 0 and this one will take 1. Okay. So if you want to change during the declaration, that is, if you want to change the default values during the declaration itself, you have to change. So changing the default values of your enum constant, here you have enum suit. Okay, so every suit will be having clubs, diamonds, hearts and spades. Okay, so if I declare it in general manner, how you are declaring enum suit, club, diamonds, hearts, spades. So this will be the declaration which you do for your enumeration. So if I do the declaration, then club will get your value 0, diamonds will get the value 1, hearts will get the value 2 and spades will get the value 3. If I don't want these default values, okay, you can give the values according to your own convenience, but during the declaration itself you have to give the values. So in this you have given club is equal to 0, diamonds is equals to 10, hearts is equals to 20 and spades is equal to 3. Okay, in this manner you can give the values, default values while declaration itself. If you don't like these default values, if you want to have your own values for your that is, if you want to have your own values for your constants, then you can give the values in this manner. So this is a complete example of your enumeration, that is how to create an enumeration and how to use that enumeration. So here enumeration is, you have taken your hash include stdio.h. Okay, you can write your enumeration above the main also. Okay, then what you have done is you have written enum keyword week, that is you are creating the week enumeration. Then you are starting with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, so by default what will be the values? By default internally Sunday will be 1, Monday will be 2, Tuesday will be 2, Wednesday will be 3, 4, 5 and 6. Saturday will be 6. Then you have return main. Then you are creating. So when I declare this, it will create a new data type. As I told you, your enumeration will create new data type of name week. So just like if you are having data type int, with which you are creating the variable int a. Int a means a can have values from -2 power 32 to +2 power 32. Okay, so that will be your declaration of your data type int. Now you have created a new data type week. Okay, the week values can be from 0 to 6 only. Okay, the week values can be from 0 to 6. A values can be from -2 power 32 to +2 power 32 -1. These many number of values can be stored in A. But in week you can store only these 6 values. You cannot store any other values. 7 values. You cannot store any other values. That will be the new data type you are creating. The new data type is week. So when you declare the enumeration, you are creating the new data type. Now after declaration, inside the main, I can create variable for your enumeration. Just like A you are creating, here you can create enumeration variable. So how to create enumeration variable? Enum, then name of your enumeration, then the variable name today. Today is the variable name. Just like A there, here you are having today. Next, what I am doing, today is equals to Wednesday. That is, I am creating today is equals to Wednesday. That is, I am assigning value today is equal to Wednesday. Okay, so you can have a value some random 1000 which will be present in this range. Okay, here today can have values from this Sunday to Saturday only. You cannot have any other values. So I am assigning today is equals to Wednesday. I am printing that particular value, that is printf %d today plus 1. What is today? Today is Wednesday. What is Wednesday value? 3. So it will print 3 plus 1. So it will print 4 value. Okay. So both are interchangeable. That is, this today can take 4 value, or it can take 3 value, or it can take from 0 to 6 value, any value. So by using enumeration, you can create a new data type in the situations where you are having only a small set of value strings. Okay, where you are having only a small set of value strings, and you can operate on those particular integral constants. Okay, this is how you use your enumerations. Similarly, you can write an enumeration for your month as well. Enum month. Okay, your January to December, like this. You can have your enumerations in this manner to work on these simple set of values rather than these large number of values in your general data types. So this is about enumeration. The second thing you are looking at in this part of the session is your structures. So you have to remember that your ordinary variables can store only one piece of data. Okay, your ordinary variables means A. A can store at most one piece of data. That is, it can store only one piece of data. And when you are having arrays, okay, when you are having arrays can store a large number of values, but they will be storing only same data type values. Okay, arrays can hold a number of pieces of information of the same data type. So a general value can store only one value, general variable can store only one value, and your array can store a large number of values, but they should be of the same data type. But quite often we deal with entities or situations that are collection of dissimilar data types. Okay, not all the applications will be having of the same data type. There will be situations where you have to mix more than one data type. That is, you will be having situations where you have to work with integer, floating point value, character value at the same time. Okay, in those situations you cannot use the basic data type and your arrays. Okay, so in such situations where you are having more than one data types involved in your application for a single entity, then you will be going for something called as structures. Okay, whenever you want to apply your some application on a single value, then you can use ordinary variables. Whenever you want to apply something and you are having large number of values of same data type, then you will be applying arrays. Whenever you are having large number of values but that entity is having more than one data type or involving dissimilar data types, then you will be going for structures. So for example, suppose you want to store data about a book. Okay, you might want to store its name. Okay, a book will be having the name. So name is usually a string. Then the price of the book, price is usually a float value, and the number of pages is usually an integer value. Okay, so now see, if I want to store the information about a book, I should be able to store a string, a float value and an integer value. This is the situation where you are involving more than one data type to a single entity. So in order to work upon this type of thing, and suppose this is one book, and if I want to store similar 3 books, if I want to store similar 3 books information, if data about say 3 such books is to be stored, then we have to use the following 2 approaches. Okay, you are having a single book. In a similar way, you want to store the information about 3 different books. At that time, you have to implement this particular scenario by using 2 situations. One is construct individual arrays for storing names, one for storing prices and another for storing pages. That is, you are having book 1, book 2 and book 3. You are having book 1, book 2, book 3. Book 1 will be having name, price and pages. Book 2 will be having name, price, pages, and book 3 also will be having name, price and pages. Okay, how to store all these 3 information? In order to implement, what I can do is, okay, I can implement these names, that is name 1, name 2, name 3 in one array. I can use another array to represent price 1, price 2, price 3. I can implement third array to implement page 1, page 2, page 3. Okay, I have to store 3 pages. So all the 3 pages will be of integer data type. So they will be same data type. So I can use one array. I can use another array to store the prices. I can use another array to store the names. So you can use 3 different individual arrays, that is construct individual arrays, one for storing names, another for storing pages and another for storing prices. So you will be having 3 individual arrays that you can implement. That is one way to implement this scenario of storing the information of 3 books. Then the second scenario is use structures and create one structure variable. Okay, so I will show you the both implementation, that is how you can implement them in this manner and how you are going to implement them in this manner. So the first situation where you have to create 3 different arrays. So you are having one array char name of 3, that is to store the name of 3 elements, and then float price and int pages. Okay, so if I say name of 3, then you can be having only 3 single characters. Remember, the name of these strings will be, okay, you have to take an array of strings here, not just 3 characters. Actually you have to take an array of strings. Why? Because you have to store 3 names of your complete books. Okay, it might be C, C++, Java. You have to store 3 names. You cannot store them in 3 character spaces. I have to take an array of strings. But for the time being, I am just taking 3 characters. So name A will be A, name of your second book will be B, and name of your third book will be C. That will be the thing I am taking here. Let's take, you are having one float price. Okay, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees. Okay, and pages, you are taking another array, pages. So let's take some values, 2, 3, 1 page, 2 page and 3 page. Okay, this is how you are implementing your 3 arrays. So this part is used to input your values into that array, that is address of, name of I, price of I, pages of I, that is this will be 0, 1, 2. Okay, name of 0 means the first book name. Name of 1 means the second book name. Name of 1 means the third book name. So we are just inputting those values into those arrays by these particular statements. Okay, name of 0, name of 1, name of 2, price of 0, price of 1, price of 2, and pages of 0, pages of 1, pages of 2. Okay, and this is to output these values into the output, that is it will be printing A, B, C, 10. Okay, it will be printing A 10, 1, B 22, C 33. It will be printing these values. This is the input part, this will be the output part. Okay, so if you see properly how you are implementing the storage of 3 books. Okay, how to create 3 different pages, 3 different arrays to store the name, price and pages. Okay, this is one implementation which you can do. For suppose if I want to create the 4th book, then I have to increase these values. If I want to create another 100 books, then I have to create 100 values. Okay, so this is how you can implement. And if I am having a new particular entity for your book, if I want to store the author of the book, then I have to create another array, author, and I have to store them here. So as the new entities come for your same particular book, you have to create new arrays. So this is a lots of wastage for your complete program. So this is an implementation of your basic storage of 3 books by using a series of arrays. So in order to reduce the complexity, if you see this will be somewhat clumsy, you are having too many arrays. To avoid this clumsiness, we are having structures. So now I will just give you an outline about the structure. So how you can create a structure? First you will be creating a structure in this manner. So you have to use the struct keyword and the name of your structure. Inside the structure I have to tell what are the entities or what are the attributes present for that structure. Okay, so your book structure will be having a name, price and pages. This is how you will be creating one structure. Once after creating the structure, you have to create the structure variables. Structure variable, that is I want to store 3 books. So I am spacing book 1, book 2, book 3. So now when you are having this thing, you are creating 3 books. For these, the 3 books will be having, book 1 will be having its own name, price and pages. Book 2 will be having name, price, pages. Book 3 will be having name, price, pages. So this will be somewhat simple implementation for the same process. So here you are using the input, here you are performing the output. So the same thing can be implemented in 2 ways, where you are using too many arrays, you are using a simple structure and structure variables. I will explain about this part, that is how to create your structures, how to have your structure variables, how to input, how to output one by one. First, declaring a structure. So before using or creating your structure variables, I have to first declare that structure. So declaration of the structure means I have to tell the outline of the structure, that is what are the properties that the particular structure is going to contain. For example, if I want to create the structure of a student, so each and every student will be having its own set of properties. Okay, his own set of properties. So if I want to create a structure, I have to first use the struct keyword, then I have to give the name of that particular structure. I am giving the student as std. So each and every student will be having a name. So I have to create a name. Okay, I have to have a name, and he will be having a roll number. So I will take the roll number as int. Okay, he will be having marks. So this is a creation of this structure. So a student will be having a basic set of properties. Those properties will be specified as members for this particular structure. So when I write this particular structure in this manner, you are not creating any memory, just you are creating a blueprint. In more technical terms, we are creating just a template for creating the variables. When I create like this, you are creating a basic structure of the student. From this structure, you can create any number of student variables. That is, first you have to create an outline of this structure. From this outline, we will be creating any number of variables. Okay. So this is an outline for your book where you are having name, price and pages, but you don't have memory for this one. When I declare a structure, you will not be having memory for that particular structure. So here also you will not be having memory, here also you will not be having any memory. It is just an outline or a blueprint. From this blueprint you will be creating the actual terms. So once after declaring your structure like this, okay, where you are creating the structure, then you have to create the structure variables. So structure variables will be created by using struct book b1, b2, b3, where b1, b2, b3 are three structure variables. Okay, three structure variables. So this is like creating a new data type. So the data type is the book data type here. Okay, so the book data type, we are having three variables, b1, b2 and b3. When I create b1, b2, b3, now the memory will be assigned. So there will be memory for b1. b1 will be containing its own name, price and pages. Okay. Now b2 also will be having its own name, price, pages. b3 will be having name, price, pages. Okay. So this is how you create a structure variable. So first you declare the structure. Once after declaring the structure, okay, you can create your structure variables in this manner. There is another method. While declaring itself, you can declare the structure variables. So you are placing a semicolon here in your declaration. So before placing the semicolon, you can create the variables here. Okay, once after writing the structure, close brace, b1, b2, b3, semicolon. So in this way also you can create your structure variables. Both are valid things. Okay, you can create a structure. Once after creating the structure, you can write this structure before main also. Okay, so once after creating the structure, inside the main you can create the variables in this manner. Okay, or you can create the structure while declaring itself. That is, while declaring itself you can create the structure variables in this manner. So once you create your structure variables, then only memory will be assigned. So based on the number of structure variables you are creating, the memory will be assigned in that manner. If you don't create your structure variables, this particular structure doesn't have any memory. Once after creating one variable, then a memory will be assigned. So then the memory will be dependent upon your number of elements present in the structure. So when I create one structure variable, the set of members will be present for all the structure variables. Okay. So this is how you create one structure variable. Once after creating the structure variable, while creating the structure variable itself, you can initialize them. So how to initialize? So initially you are declaring a structure. Once after declaring structure, you are creating structure variables, that is struct book b1. Okay, if you want to initialize, you can initialize in this manner, equals to, okay, then placing inside your flower brace, I have to give the values for the three elements for the book, that is basic name, 130 will be your price, 550 will be the number of pages. In a similar manner, you can give or initialize the structure variables in this manner, that is struct book b2 physics 150.80 and 800. So that is how you can initialize while declaring itself. You can initialize your structure variables while performing the declaration itself. So that is about the initialization of your structure variables. Apart from that one, if I want to access the individual elements of your books, that is you have created your structure, struct book. Inside the book you are having name, price and pages. So that will be your structure. After creating the structure, if I create the variable book b1, okay, as I told you, b1 will be having its own name, price and pages. If I am having another b2 will be having its own name, price and pages. So if I want to access a specific, that is what is the price of book b1, what is the pages, what are the number of pages present in book b2. Okay, if I want to access the individual elements of this structure, I have to use the dot operator. Okay, if I want in arrays, we access these individual elements by using the subscript. For example, in arrays, we will be accessing the individual elements by using the subscript, that is 0 to n minus 1. In your structure variables, okay, the structure variables can access its individual elements by using the dot operator. So the dot operator like b1 dot pages, okay, b1 dot name, b1 dot price, okay, b1 dot price. So it will return the book one's price, it will return the book one's pages. So we can access the individual elements by using the dot operator. Okay. So the complete example regarding the structure you can see. So you have written main. If I want to write this thing, you can write above the main as well. That is, you can write this structure before the main as well. And you have created three structure variables, that is struct book b1, b2, b3. Then I am entering the names, that is printf, enter the name, prices and number of pages of three books. Okay. So scanf, percentage C, percentage F, percentage D. Percentage C is for name, percentage F is for price, percentage D is for pages. So b1 dot name. Okay, whatever you enter, it will go into b1 dot name, b1 dot price, b1 dot pages. I have to give three values, that is b1 dot name, that will be a, b1 dot price, I will give 100 rupees, b1 dot pages, 10 pages. Okay, like that. Second scanf is for second book values. I have to give values b, that is name of second book, okay, 200 rupees and 220 pages. Same is the case for third book. Okay, that is how you will be giving the values. Then the last part, this is the input part where you have to give the values, and this part, that is, this will print all these values, that is b1 dot name, b1 dot price, b1 dot pages. So it will print all the values. So you have to understand the three steps how to declare your structure. Okay, you have to give the struct keyword, then the name of your structure what you want to give, and inside the structure you have to specify all the elements of your structure. Okay, if you are writing the book, what are the properties of the book? If you are writing the student, what are the properties of the student? So each and every time, if you are writing a complex number, what are the things present in the complex number? Okay, so real value, imaginary value, like that. So each and every structure will be having its own set of properties. You have to write the properties and declare your structure. Once after declaring the structure, you have to create the variables. So how many variables you want to have? Okay, so those many number of variables you can create. Once after creating the variables, you can access the individual properties of those variables, that is B1's name, B1's price, B1's pages, B2's name, B2's price, B2's pages. Each and every individual element can be accessed by using the dot operator. Okay, it can be accessed by using the dot operator. In this manner, you can create your structure variables, and access the individual elements of your structure. In the next session, we will be looking about more parts of this structure, and we will be comparing it with another thing called as the union, and also we will be looking at type def in the next session. Thank you.